Hey everyone, welcome to Christians Do Yoga. I'm Kristen, and I can't wait to lead you through this really fun, energizing, powerful flow. It's built with some balance work and some strength and flexibility all in one. While you're making your way to child's pose, I'm going to go ahead and read our portion of scripture over you, and you can just start to become aware of your breath, become aware of just this moment and the stillness that you find yourself in. As I read these words over you, just hold on to anything that maybe stands out to you and start this conversation with the Lord about what it is He has for you today on your mat. 2 Corinthians 12. Verse 9 says, "And finally he said to me, my grace is enough to cover and sustain you. My power is made perfect in weakness. So ask me about my thorn, inquire about my weakness, and I will gladly go on. And I would rather stake my claim in these and have the power of the Anointed One at home within me. I am at peace, and I even take pleasure in my weakness, insults, hardships, persecutions, and afflictions, for the sake of the Anointed, because when I am at my weakest, He makes me strong." And this is a very well-known verse that we probably know just from reading our Bibles or even just growing up hearing this about when He is weak, or when we are weak, He is strong. And the reason I chose this portion of text is because in this flow, we're going to get to some pretty intense parts of our physical practice, and I want you to use that as an opportunity to find that place of weakness, because when we get to the end of ourselves, that's when we start to see His strength. And so that is my prayer, that's my hope for you during this practice as we move forward. So just taking a few more breaths right here in your child's pose, sinking those hips back. Your knees can be together. You can separate those knees and really sink your chest and belly towards your mat. We'll take just a few minutes to warm up, and then we'll move right into our flow. So from here, go ahead and walk those fingertips over to the right, feeling a big stretch on that left side body, really planting the palms into your mat. Fingertips spread wide, drawing that left hip back and down. Good, take a big breath, feel that air just invade the space on the left side body in between those ribs. Good, come back to center. And then over to the left. So this time we're gonna feel that air weave its way through the right ribs as we breathe deeply here. Maybe even taking a few moments to reflect on what it is, maybe those places that you find yourself at the end of yourself, at the end of what you know, and just inviting God to show His weakness, His strength in those spaces. Beautiful. Come back to center for just one more breath here in child's pose. Good. Go ahead and walk your way up to just a seated position. We're going to take those hands all the way overhead. Big breath in. And then take the left hand to the right knee for a twist. Inhale, get really tall. Exhale, find a little more rotation through the torso area. One more breath here. Good. Coming back to center, both hands overhead, and then over to the left as you exhale. So the right hand is planted on the left knee. Inhale, get really tall. Exhale, rotate. Let the left shoulder draw back and away from the ear. Good. Sweep both hands all the way overhead. Let's do it one more time on each side. Over to the right. Good. Come back to center. And then over to the left. Nice job. Coming back to center. Let both hands come to your knees with your gaze forward. We're just going to take a couple seated cat-cows here. So from here, we're just going to let our chin and our chest reach forward, and our back is gonna kind of sway here just for a little baby back bend. And then as you exhale, tuck your chin and just hold on lightly to your knees as you round the upper back. Good, and again, reaching the chest forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together on the back side of the body so you're opening the chest nice and broad here. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale, pull away from the front of your mat, tucking the chin, rounding the upper back. Okay, let's do that 2 more times. With your own breath, your own pace. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, round. Good. Nice job. And on that last exhale, just find your way back to center in just a seated position. So go ahead and walk your hands forward and tuck the toes. Find downward facing dog. We'll be here for about 5 breaths just to get set up for our down dog, depending on where you're at in your day and in your practice. Feel free to modify this as needed. So bending those knees, lifting the hips, taking your gaze towards your thighs, ears between the biceps. And breathe. Getting a nice flat back. Heels can stay lifted. Good, take 1 more breath here. Nice, go ahead and step those feet up to meet your hands, folding forward. Knees softly bent here so you can really tuck the chin into your chest and round over those knees. Good, inhale, lift halfway, start to straighten the knees, flat back. Exhale, fold deeper. Inhale, sweep those hands up overhead, big breath in, coming into your chair pose for 5 breaths. So in your chair pose, keep those hips back and make sure you can see the toes so that your knees aren't so far forward that they're hiding your toes. The ears are just between the biceps. If this position feels like too much for you, if you feel like you're just kind of leaning too far forward, just slightly rise a little bit. So take your squat a little higher. Good, tuck the belly in towards the spine and the ribs pull together. 1 more breath. Beautiful, exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Good, let's do that again. Sweep those hands all the way overhead. Big breath. Getting nice and warm now. Tuck the tailbone back, making sure you can lift the toes, chair pose. Inhale, and exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Good, go ahead and plant your hands. Step back into your plank pose, 5 breaths. So we're, again, just warming up the core, warming up our bodies, and just starting to mark our movements to start building our sequence here. So here in plank pose, go ahead and take those knees or those thighs and draw them in towards each other like you're squeezing a block between your thighs. Belly button is pulled into the spine. Gaze is forward, so we're not looking underneath our body. Good, maybe rock forward just slightly so that your shoulders are over your wrist and lower down all the way to your mat. Elbows pinned in towards your sides. Keeping your hands right where they're at, go ahead and lift halfway for cobra. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Good, so from here, go ahead and lift that right leg into the sky. Bring it in to meet your hands. And plant the back foot at a 45-degree angle. So we're coming into warrior 1. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Good. Take that right foot back, place it into your plank pose. Slow and control, lower all the way down. Good. Inhale, lifting halfway for cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg, inhale, reaches for the sky. Exhale, drop it through. Plant the back foot. Inhale, rise, nice and slow. Exhale, lower. Good. Take that left foot back, plank pose. Exhale, lower all the way to your mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, down dog. Good, so we just went through a whole sun salutation B sequence. We're gonna do it one more time to get nice and warm, and then I will give you an opportunity to pause and repeat if that's what you need today to get a little warmer or to increase the this workout intensity. So when you're ready, go ahead and reach your feet up towards your hands and fold forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep those hands all the way overhead. Big breath in, and then go ahead and exhale into your chair. Good, just take another breath here. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Plant those hands, step back into your plank, and lower down, slow and controlled. This time, press straight back up and flip the feet for upward facing dog. Option to always stay on the thighs. If you're not quite ready for your up dog, that's totally fine. Downward facing dog. Inhale that right leg high for three-legged dog. And step it through. That back foot plant. Inhale for warrior one. Exhale, fold. Step that right foot back. Maybe you leave it lifted for a three-legged plank. Straight back up. Up dog. Down dog. Other side. Left leg reaches for the sky. Go ahead and drop it through as you exhale. Plant the back foot. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Plant both hands. Step that left foot back. And take your chaturanga push-up. Flowing through to your down dog. Nice job. Let's take 5 breaths right here in downward facing dog. This is your opportunity to just pause this video and go through this sequence maybe 2 or 3 more times to build up some heat, to build up a little sweat, and just meet me back here in downward facing dog. Good, so go ahead and let that right leg float into the sky for three-legged dog. And drop it through to meet your hands. So you're in a low runner's lunge here. Making sure we're gonna set this up, we're gonna set each posture up nice and strong so that when we start to flow through this, you have good posture and you're keeping the integrity of the posture to keep you safe. So the right knee is stacked over the right ankle. The left heel is still lifted. Walk those toes back just a little bit so that your left heel is stacked over the forefront of your foot. So when you're ready, we're gonna come into crescent lunge. So just rise, bringing those hands overhead. Option, keep your hands at your heart. Maybe they come into cactus. Maybe they come behind you, but we're here for 5 breaths, so feel free to play with this. Take a peek at the right foot. Make sure you can see those first 2 toes. Wherever your hand placement is, find that stillness. Embrace the wobble. Embrace the shake that might be starting to happen. One more breath. Good, so we're gonna set up each posture with a set of vinyasas in between. So when you're ready at the bottom of that exhale, go ahead and plant both hands around that right foot. Take that foot back. Hear me, if you need to skip the vinyasas, move straight into down dog before we move to the other side. So if you're taking a vinyasa, here we go. Lowering down into your chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Left side, inhale that left leg straight up and bring it in to meet your hands for crescent lunge. Take a few breaths just to set this up. Left knee over the ankle, heel over the toes. Crescent lunge, 5 breaths. Really sinking into your crescent lunge. Keeping that back leg charged up. That right kneecap is lifted so you're not drooping here. Keep everything nice and straight. One more breath. Good. Plant those hands around that left foot and take it back. Your choice. Vinyasa or not. Good, so here we go. We're adding on. Right leg floats into the sky. Crescent lunge. Inhale, rise. So go ahead and bring your hands to your heart. We're gonna step off that back foot and really plant into this right foot for warrior three. So let those left toes point towards your mat. So you can be right here in like a 90-degree angle, warrior three if that's for you, but it's not necessary. What I want you to think about is keeping a little bend in that right knee, pressing through the four corners of that right foot, and those left toes pointed towards your mat. Core is engaged. So wherever you're at for your warrior three, take one more breath. And we are gonna get out of this just how we came into it. So step that left foot back. Inhale those hands up for crescent lunge. Plant the hands. Chaturanga. Other side, left leg lift. Exhale, drop it through. Inhale, rise. Here we go, hands to your heart. Driving off that back foot, planting into the left, making sure you're not gripping with the left toes. Find your warrior three for 5 breaths. And breathe. Find something just in front of you to focus on to help with your balance here. Receive one more inhale and exhale. Good. Go ahead and drop that back foot, coming back into your crescent lunge, nice and slow. And then coming around that left foot with both hands, plank pose, vinyasa. Good. Inhale that right leg into the sky. Drop it through. Crescent lunge as you rise. Inhale. Exhale, warrior three. Take another breath here. And then we're gonna take that back foot and come into warrior two. So drop it onto your mat, but this time it's gonna come into like a 90-degree angle. So you're gonna be lined up either right heel to left heel or right heel to left arch. So make it work for you. Really sinking that right knee over the ankle, but not too far. And open up, warrior two. Good, feeling your heart rate rise, maybe feeling a little bit of sweat building here. And breathing. One more breath. So here's the fun part. We get to come out of this just like we got here. So go ahead and pivot onto that back foot here a little bit. Turn forward, hands to your heart, warrior three. Crescent lunge. And fold. Vinyasa. You guys feel free to take a break or pause at any time you need to. You do not need permission. Just honor your body right where it's at today. Left leg floats into the sky. Drop it through. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, warrior three. One more breath here, and on the exhale, find warrior two. Good, so that back foot now is parallel with the back of your mat. So really think about squeezing those shoulder blades together and dropping the shoulders down, and then keeping the wrist in line with the shoulders here. Tuck the tailbone so it's nice and heavy so you're not sticking your booty out here. One more breath. Good. Go ahead and bring that right foot towards the front, pivot the back foot. Warrior three. Crescent. Vinyasa. Good. Plant those hands. Beautiful job. Right leg comes into the sky. Let's add on. Crescent lunge. Warrior three. Good. Warrior two, dropping that foot, open up. Good, so from here, straighten that right knee and reach the fingertips towards the front of your mat. Those right fingertips, reach, reach, reach. And then they come to your right shin for triangle pose. So left fingertips are high, right fingertips are on your shin. You can look towards your left fingertips or your right. Make this work for you. One more breath. Good. Start to bend that right knee, coming back through warrior two just for a beat, and then coming into your warrior three. Crescent. And fold. Good. Take your vinyasa or go straight to down dog if that's what you need in this moment. Left leg comes into the sky. Three-legged dog. Exhale, drop it through. Inhale, crescent. Breathing, you guys. Good. Exhale, warrior three. Inhale, warrior two. Start to straighten that left knee. Inhale, reach, reach, reach. Exhale, fold. Triangle pose on the left side. The left hand comes to the left shin. If it's available, feel free to come all the way to your mat as long as you're keeping the chest open so that the shoulders are stacked on top of each other and you're not folding too far forward. One more breath here. Good. Start to bend that left knee, cartwheel up into your warrior two, warrior three, crescent, and fold. Good. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. We have one more posture to add on, and then we're gonna put this whole sequence together. So here we go. Right leg floats into the sky. Inhale. Exhale, drop it through. Inhale, rise. Exhale, warrior three. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, straighten that knee. Inhale, reach. Exhale, triangle. So from here, we're gonna look towards our right foot, start to walk our fingers towards the front of our mat and kick that back foot up for half moon. So the left toes are pointed towards the left side of your mat. Your foot is flexed. Right fingertips are on the floor. Keep a slight bend in that right knee. One more breath. Beautiful job. Step that back foot down. Just come straight into warrior two, warrior three, and crescent. Nice job. Vinyasa. So here we go, left side. Inhale. Exhale, drop it through crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior three. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, straighten the knee. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold, triangle. Good, so go ahead and take a peek at the left toes. Start to bend that knee slightly as you bring those fingers up towards the front of your mat. Right fingertips are still towards the sky. Half moon. So your right leg is in line with your hip, so it's not too high. And if it needs to be lower, that's totally fine too. Just keep that right foot flexed. Embrace the wobble here. That's the purpose of this flow, is to get to the end of ourselves, the end of our own strength. Good, go ahead and plant that back foot. Just come right into warrior two. Nice, warrior three. Crescent. Good, coming over that left foot, vinyasa. Go ahead and drop to the knees, sink the hips back for child's pose, and enjoy this rest. Well done. So take about 5 breaths here. I want to read our scripture again and see if anything is coming to life for you, is resonating with you, especially as you're kind of breaking down some of the physical barriers that we might be wrestling through. I know I'm feeling this practice, and I hope you are too. And finally, he said to me, my grace is enough to cover and sustain you. My power is made perfect in weakness. So ask about my thorn, inquire about my weakness, and I'll gladly go on and on. Because I'd rather stake my claim in these and have the power of the Anointed One at home within me. I am at peace and even take pleasure in any weakness, insults, hardships, persecutions, and afflictions for the sake of the Anointed, because when I'm at my weakest, He makes me strong. As you're reflecting on maybe these places, it might not even be in your physical practice, of where you are or have been at your weakest places and points in your life. I like how Paul puts it here, that it's both. Like, I am weak, but I am strong. And so maybe even just reflect on that, and maybe you've moved out of that season of your life, but just find so much gratitude right now and just give praise to God for those weak moments that He was able to shine through our broken cracks or crevices and strengthen us in those moments. All right, friends, so we're gonna go through it one more time all together, and then we're gonna end in a delicious stretch. I promise it's coming. So when you're ready, go ahead and plant those hands, lift the hips. Let's find ourselves back in downward facing dog. Let that right leg come into the sky as you inhale. Exhale, crescent lunge. Rise as you inhale. Exhale, warrior 3. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, straighten that knee. Inhale, reach forward, and then exhale, find your triangle. Good. Half moon. So from here, take your chest and shift it forward. So your left toes are now going to be pointed towards your mat. So you're in like a standing 7. If standing splits is in your practice, go ahead and move into that now. Good. So from here, we're going to plant the back foot. That left foot comes back like a low lunge. Walk the right foot over to the left for pigeon pose. We're going to be here for about 8 breaths. So find your variation of pigeon and enjoy it. You should be nice and open, nice and warm to receive this posture in its fullness. And breathe. As you breathe in, I want you to imagine that your breath is finding those places of tension, and it's coming right up to the edge of those tense and tight places. And as you exhale, release the muscles, release the tension in that space, and just let go, surrendering into this posture. Allowing your heart to stay open to hear from the Lord and what it is He might be saying for you to maybe let go of, so that He can be your strength and strengthen you. Or maybe it's what to start or to move into, so that He can prove that He is your strength. So receive one more breath right here. Good. Go ahead and come back up to just a seated version of your pigeon. We're going to plant both hands, come into downward facing dog. Let that right leg float into the sky. Go ahead and open up the hips this time for a little scorpion action here to really open that right hip flexor. And then come back to downward facing dog. Good. Let that left leg float into the sky as you inhale. Exhale, drop it through. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior 3. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, straighten the left knee. Inhale, reach. And exhale, fold, triangle. Good, go ahead and look down, finding your way into your half moon, wobbly or not. As your legs fatigue, you may find that they become a little more shaky. That's great. That's where the work is happening. It's where the change is happening. The strength is being built when the muscles and the body becomes fatigued. Good. Go ahead and turn your chest forward. So both fingertips come to your mat. Now left toes are pointed forward, right toes are pointed towards your mat into a standing 7 or standing splits if that's in your practice. Good. Go ahead and drop the back foot to your mat and let the left foot reach or walk over to the right side of your mat, coming into pigeon pose on the left side, sinking that right hip down towards your mat. Feel free to grab a block or a blanket and place underneath that left hip or that right hip if you need some support here. But find that place that you can really relax into this posture, but you still feel the work, the undoing that is happening in that left hip, or maybe that right hip flexor for you, or maybe both. Rest your attention on your breath, making your inhales and exhales as fluid as possible. And again, tracing the inhales through your body all the way right up to that point of tension. And as you exhale, just release the breath, release the tension, and sink deeper into this posture. So go ahead and walk your way back up to a seated posture. Go ahead and plant both hands. Left leg is going to come into the sky for three-legged dog, and open up the left hip and bend that left knee for scorpion. Enjoy this deep side stretch, that hip flexor stretch. Good. Come back to downward facing dog. All right, friends, as always with any sequence that I offer, the invitation is to pause here, go through it again, maybe 2 more times if that is what you need and would love today. And if you're ready to come into rest with me, go ahead and drop to your knees, sinking those hips all the way down to your mat, nice and slow. And let your feet come to the edge of your mat into Savasana, allowing your hands to face up and your gaze to either lower or just close the eyes. Let your feet stay separated and just to kind of flap open to each side of your mat. Starting with your head, just imagine that your head is nice and heavy. Relax your face, relax your jaw, relax your eyebrows, relax the shoulders, the chest, the ribs, the belly button and the hips. Just get closer to your mat as you relax into your mat. The thighs, the knees, the calves, the ankles, and the feet feel heavy and relaxed. You can stay here as long as you need or wish today. And my prayer is that you feel strong and weak at the same time, and that you are experiencing God's radical love for yourself, for your heart, and you're finding His strength in your weaknesses.
Need help with your meditation practice? We created a short guide to help you start meditating today, or to help take your existing practice to the next level if you're feeling stuck. We offer practical advice for how to meditate, as well as several tips to help you get the most from each practice. Start enjoying the peace and focus that comes with a regular meditation practice by heading over to christiansmeditate.com and get your guide today.